Hi there, I'm going to show you how to make New Mexican enchiladas. My mother is from New Mexico, so I learned all my recipes from her. This is a very unique enchilada. So these are all the items. The Las Palmas chili sauce is the only sauce I've ever used. It's been around for over 50 years. My mother's used it for enchiladas through all these years. So I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. You use corn tortillas, cheddar cheese, chopped onions, a little bit of garlic in the sauce, ground beef, and lettuce. You start off with, this is about 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm using sirloin. And you kind of put it in a little bit of oil and just kind of cook it till it's well cooked. About 10-15 minutes, you cook that first, and then you're going to add the chili sauce and a little bit of garlic. I'm going to start with 2 cloves of garlic. You can smash it and then cut it up. It's a lot easier that way. This is going to go in the chili sauce. You salt the meat. I started off with a white onion, but then I realized I have some red onion left, so I'm going to use a red onion. You can use yellow, white, or red for this. I like the red because they're colorful and sweet, but any of them will work. And also, it depends on how many people you're serving, which is how much you're going to cut up of the onions. Because it means you're going to have 2 enchiladas or 3 or 4. It just depends on how much you're serving. I like a lot of onions. There's only going to be 2 of us, but I like a lot of onions. We both do. So this is quite a bit for 2 people to eat. I mean, as far as how many onions, but if we have leftover, that's fine. We can use it for something else. So here's our onions. This is where you want the meat to be. This is how you want it to be cooked well. I've removed all the grease, and now I'm ready to pour in the Las Palmas chili sauce. This is the red chili sauce, not the enchilada sauce. On the bottom it says Salsa de Chile Colorado, and it's a medium where it's not mild and it's not real spicy, it's just right. This is the particular one that I'm using. So now you stir it up. And it's going to cook. I would cook it for about 45 minutes. Sometimes I cook it longer. Sometimes I cook it a half hour, depending on how much time I have. And now I'm going to add the garlic. So here's 2 cloves diced up. This gives the chili a lot more flavor. You just stir everything up and turn it on kind of a medium, and it's going to kind of boil a little bit. It's going to cook in with the meat. So I would say about a half hour, and it could go up to an hour if you'd like. I've grated the cheese, I've chopped up the onions, and now all I need to do is cut up some lettuce. This has been washed. On the lettuce, you're not going to need that much. As far as how much, probably about this amount. Maybe a quarter of the lettuce. That's all about what you're going to need. So you just chop up the lettuce. I keep it kind of crunchy and I don't shred it. This is how it's done, just like that. We're all set for when we make the enchiladas. These are all the items you need. There's no tomatoes in this. So you've got the onions, the lettuce, the shredded cheese, and as soon as the sauce is done, we'll fry up some corn tortillas, and at the very end, we put a fried egg on top. And this is how the sauce looks cooking. You can see it's gotten a lot thicker. So this is where you want it to be. As you can see, the consistency, the meat has absorbed a lot of the sauce, where it's still saucy but thicker. It's not runny, it's just how you want it. So when you pour it over, it'll be just how you want it. Okay, the next step is cooking the tortillas, the corn tortillas. You put them in a skillet on high, and I would say probably 30 seconds on each side. You want it to cook and not be too soft, but you don't want it really stiff either. So this is the next step, the tortillas, cooking them. And then you put them on paper towels when they're done. There are times where it kind of tears, so you have to be careful. That's why I'm using a spatula instead of tongs. Because they are delicate, they can tear. And I use corn tortillas that just have water, corn, and lime in it. The ones I use don't have a whole bunch of preservatives. So you try to get some of the grease off, but you won't be able to get it all. So what you do is you take the paper towels and you make sure you get all the grease out of them. That's the next step. And then you're ready to top them. Okay, the next step is layering your tortilla after it's been cooked and the grease drained out of it. You add just a handful of lettuce. Then you add like a handful of onions, any kind of onion. I'm using red, but you can use white or yellow. And then I use cheddar cheese, and I put it on top. The next step is going to be adding the chili sauce over it with ground beef in it. Just before you put the meat sauce on over the tortilla and all the veggies, you cook your eggs. Each one is going to have a fried egg on it, and you do that before you put this meat sauce on so it'll stay hot, because you don't want to have everything cool down and then cook the eggs afterwards. So I'm cooking the eggs now to serve how wanted. And then as soon as I'm done cooking the eggs and get the grease off of them, I put the meat sauce on top and add the egg. That's the very last step. Okay, now we have the final step. We're going to add the meat sauce, the chili meat sauce, over the tortilla and all the veggies and cheese. And this is how you kind of do it. You kind of pile it up and have a little juice so everything's thickened up more than how it has. That's how you want it, where the sauce is a little thicker. And then you're ready to put the egg on. So here's the fried egg. And that's called New Mexican Enchiladas. Okay, here's the finished product. Here's my New Mexican Enchiladas. It has pinto beans, I have guacamole and corn. Sometimes I make Spanish rice. I always have pinto beans that I make fresh and guacamole. I was raised on this. My mom is born and raised in New Mexico, and this is exactly how they cook them there. I hope you enjoy this meal. I hope it comes out wonderful for you. Thank you so much.